Practical English Podcast, helping you become confident and fluent in English.
Hey there, future meeting leaders. Welcome back to the Practical English Podcast. I'm Kevin, and this is episode 4 of our Professional English Mastery series. Picture this: you're sitting in a business meeting with colleagues from different countries. The discussion is heating up, decisions need to be made, and suddenly all eyes turn to you for your input. Do you freeze up? Do you stumble through broken English? Or do you confidently share your ideas like a natural leader? Here's the reality: business meetings in English aren't just about language, they're about influence, leadership, and career advancement. The professionals who speak with confidence in meetings are the ones who get promoted, get the best projects, and build international networks. In the next 18 minutes, I'm giving you 30 power phrases that will transform you from a silent observer into an active meeting participant. These aren't just any phrases. These are the exact expressions used by successful executives in boardrooms around the world. By the end of this episode, you'll have the confidence to lead discussions, disagree diplomatically, and contribute valuable insights in any business meeting. Let's make you a meeting superstar. Let me tell you about Lisa from South Korea. She's a brilliant project manager with incredible ideas, but she had one major problem: she became invisible in English meetings. During a quarterly review meeting with the global team, Lisa had the perfect solution to a budget issue that everyone was struggling with. She'd calculated the numbers, researched alternatives, and knew exactly how to save the company $50,000. But when the CEO asked, "Does anyone have suggestions for reducing costs?" Lisa sat there paralyzed. She knew what to say in Korean, but in English, she could only think, maybe we can reduce the spending on. By the time she found the words, her colleague Mark had jumped in with a different idea. Mark got the credit, the implementation opportunity, and ultimately, the promotion that should have been Lisa's. After the meeting, Lisa felt frustrated and invisible. She realized that her career growth was being limited not by her competence, but by her inability to communicate effectively in English meetings. Sound familiar? This happens to thousands of talented professionals every day. They have great ideas but lack the English meeting skills to express them confidently. Here's what Lisa learned, and what you're about to master: meetings follow predictable patterns. There are specific phrases for each meeting situation, and once you know them, you can participate confidently in any professional discussion. Every successful meeting follows the same structure, and each phase has its own language patterns. 1. Opening and agenda setting. 2. Presenting ideas. 3. Discussing and debating. 4. Decision making. 5. Closing and action items. Let's master the language for each phase, starting with opening a meeting like a true professional. Opening a meeting power phrases. Setting the stage. Thank you all for joining today's meeting. Let's get started, shall we? I'd like to begin by reviewing our agenda. Before we dive in, let me outline what we'll cover today. Introducing the purpose. The main objective of today's meeting is to: we're here to discuss. Our goal today is to reach a decision on. I've called this meeting to address setting expectations. We have about an hour, so let's stay focused. I'd like to hear everyone's input on this. Please feel free to jump in with questions or comments. Let's aim to wrap up by 4 p.m. Participating from the start. Engagement phrases. Even if you're not leading the meeting, you can establish your presence immediately. Acknowledging the agenda. Thanks for putting this together. This agenda looks comprehensive. I'm particularly interested in discussing point 3. Showing preparedness. I've reviewed the materials you sent. I have some thoughts on the proposal. I'd like to share some data that might be relevant. Now let's practice the most crucial skill, presenting your ideas with confidence and clarity. Introducing your idea, the structure. Step 1. Get attention politely. Step 2. State your main point clearly. Step 3. Provide supporting details. Step 4. Connect to meeting objectives. Getting attention. Power phrases. If I may add something here. I'd like to share a different perspective on this. Building on what Sarah just said. I have an idea that might work. Let me propose an alternative approach. Presenting your main point. I believe we should consider. My recommendation would be to. From my experience, the best approach is. The data suggests that we should. I propose that we. Providing support. Here's why this makes sense. The benefits include. This approach would help us. Based on similar projects, we can expect. The numbers show that. Connecting to objectives. This directly addresses our main concern about. This solution would help us achieve our goal of. This aligns with our strategy to. This would solve the problem we discussed earlier. Let's practice with a real scenario. Scenario. Your team needs to reduce project timeline by 2 weeks. Your response using the structure. If I may add something here. I believe we should consider running the testing phase parallel to development instead of sequentially. Here's why this makes sense. We could save approximately 10 days without compromising quality, and our testing team has the bandwidth to start earlier. This directly addresses our main concern about meeting the client deadline while maintaining our quality standards. Notice the flow? Attention main point support connection. This structure works for any idea in any meeting. Now let's tackle the challenging part, discussing, debating, and sometimes disagreeing professionally. Agreeing and building on ideas. I completely agree with that approach. That's an excellent point, and I'd like to add. You're absolutely right, and we could also. I'm on board with that suggestion. That makes perfect sense to me. Disagreeing diplomatically. Never say, "You're wrong" or "That's a bad idea." Professional disagreement phrases. I see your point, but I have some concerns about. That's interesting, though I wonder if we should consider. I respect that perspective, but my experience suggests. While that could work, I'm worried about. I understand the logic, but what about? Asking for clarification. Could you elaborate on that point? What exactly do you mean by? Can you walk us through how that would work? I want to make sure I understand correctly. Could you give us a specific example? Managing discussions. When discussions get off track. Let's refocus on the main issue. That's a valid point for another discussion. Can we park that idea and come back to it later? Let's stay on topic for now. Buying time to think. That's a good question. Let me think about that for a moment. Interesting point. Can we come back to that in a few minutes? I need to consider all the implications here. Let me gather my thoughts on this. Let's practice some challenging meeting situations. Scenario 1. Someone presents an idea you disagree with. Instead of, "That won't work," say, "I appreciate the creative thinking here. I'm wondering though, have we considered the potential impact on our current customers? My concern is that this change might confuse our existing user base." Scenario 2. You need to interrupt a long-winded speaker. Instead of, "Stop talking," say, "Sorry to interrupt, but I want to make sure we have time to cover all agenda items. Could we maybe continue this discussion after the meeting?" Scenario 3. Someone asks you a question you don't know the answer to. Instead of, "I don't know," say, "That's a great question. I don't have those specific numbers with me today, but I can get back to you with detailed information by tomorrow. Would that work? Scenario 4. You want to suggest something risky or innovative. Instead of, I have a crazy idea, say, I'd like to propose something that might seem unconventional, but I think it's worth exploring. What if we considered expressing opinions strongly but professionally? I feel strongly that we should. I'm convinced that this is the right approach because, based on my experience, I believe. The data clearly indicates that. I'm confident that this solution will. The way you close a meeting determines whether anything actually gets done afterward. Summarizing discussions. Let me summarize what we've discussed today. To recap, we've covered 3 main points. Here's what I'm taking away from our discussion. Let me make sure I've captured everything correctly. Confirming decisions. So we've agreed that the decision is to move forward with. We've decided to. Our consensus is that. Assigning action items. Sarah, could you take the lead on? Who would be the best person to handle? Can we assign someone to follow up on? I'll take responsibility for. Setting deadlines. When can we expect this to be completed? What's a realistic timeline for this? Can we have this done by next Friday? Let's set a deadline of. Planning follow-up. Let's schedule a follow-up meeting for. I'll send around meeting notes by. We'll touch base again next week too. Our next check-in will be. Professional closing. Thank you everyone for a productive meeting. I appreciate everyone's input today. Looking forward to seeing the progress on these items. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Building alliances in meetings. I agree with Mark's point about. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, building on David's suggestion. Like Susan said, This shows you're listening and creates meeting allies. Managing conflict. I think we all want the same outcome here. Let's focus on what we agree on first. Both perspectives have merit. What if we found a middle ground? Showing leadership without authority. One thing we might consider is, what if we approached this differently? I wonder if there's another option. Perhaps we could. Handling difficult personalities. The dominator. Thanks for that input, John. Let's hear from others as well. The silent one, break time equals 0. 5s/Maria, what's your take on this? The negative one. What would need to change for this to work? Let's do a rapid-fire meeting simulation. I'll give you situations, and you respond with the appropriate professional phrases. Situation 1. You want to introduce a new idea to reduce costs. Think. Get attention plus state idea plus provide support. Situation 2. Someone suggests something you disagree with, but you want to be diplomatic. Think. Acknowledge plus express concern plus suggest alternative. Situation 3. The meeting is running long and you need to move things forward. Think. Acknowledge time plus suggest action plus maintain momentum. Situation 4. You need to assign action items and set deadlines. Think. Specific assignment plus clear deadline plus confirm understanding. Perfect. You're building the confidence to handle any meeting situation professionally. Here's what just happened. You mastered 30 professional phrases, learned the structure of effective meetings, and practiced handling challenging situations that used to make you nervous. Your homework: in your next meeting, use at least 3 phrases from today's episode. Start small, maybe just "if I may add something here." Or "let me summarize what we've discussed." Build your confidence gradually. If this episode gave you the tools to contribute confidently in your next business meeting, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. We're building the ultimate professional English toolkit together. Coming up in episode 5, email English fast, write professional messages in 5 minutes. Because after you've impressed them in the meeting, you need to follow up with emails that get results. Comment below, ready for email mastery, if you want to learn how to write professional emails that actually get responses. And remember, great ideas are worthless if you can't communicate them effectively. You now have the language tools to share your brilliance with confidence. Your next meeting is going to be your breakthrough moment. This is Kevin from the Practical English Podcast. Go lead those meetings, and I'll see you in episode 5. Briefcase rocket.